On this episode of Carnage, I'm going to need a hand to put this engine in the Trolvo. On the last episode of Carnage, we pretty much finished assembling our 1.5 JZ. So it started off as a naturally aspirated 2 JZ bottom end that we've put turbo rods and pistons in it, new rings, new bearings, ARP studs, ARP rod bolts. Then we've done a Toyota MLS gasket with a 1 JZ head and ARP studs. It's got Kelford cams in it. Now we've done this combination of the 1 JZ on the 2 JZ bottom end because A, we hurt our 1 JZ that was in the Volvo, and B, we want to retain all our 1 JZ manifolds and that, so they fit this head. To replace all that stuff would cost a lot of money if we were going to go to a 2 JZ head. You know, you're looking at several $1,000s to do all new manifolds and stuff like that. So this is a very budget way of replacing our 1 JZ, plus it gives us an extra half a litre capacity, which means more power, and we may even be able to throw it more boost because, yeah, this thing's going to be pretty stout, and I think the Volvo is going to go 950s or better with this motor. But we have to do a couple last things, you know, just, well, A, get our manifolds and that, get our sump on there and that sort of thing, close it up, and then get it into the car so we can take it to the dyno and see what power it makes. Let's do that. The elephant in the room though is my hand. I got bitten by a dog. I got bitten by a big dog and I can't do anything with this hand at the moment. So Matt's going to jump from behind the camera and I'm going to point at stuff and go fit that, and he's going to do the work while I point stuff out and go those bolts go with that manifold and go on that. Yeah, so a lot of pointing from me and a lot of spannering from Matt. It's going to be different. Embrace it. So first item on the list is our oil pan. We're going to get that on the engine. Now I took this down to Ray and George Haddad at Russell Oil Pans last week, and they've come up with this. So they've extended it downwards. It's got extra capacity. It's got gates inside. It's got this lip inside to stop all the oil rushing towards the back of the engine. So it's bigger, it's better. It's going to hopefully solve our issues with oil control. They've also extended the pickup and changed the screen. So yeah, this should be awesome. Now Matt has to fit it.
What are we setting this to, Scotty?
6 Newton meters.
Oh wow. It's nothing.
So while Matty is getting the sump on, we should point out that we're using the upper sump section from the 1JZ. Because the 1JZ was a twin turbo engine, it has the drain back for a turbocharger, where the 2JZ engine, being a non-turbo engine, did not have that. So we can't use its sump section without drilling and tapping it. So we figure they're kind of same, other than the fact that one has a drain back, one doesn't. So we use the 1JZ section for this alloy bit, the upper sump section. We're putting the baffle that came as part of the Golby's kit in there as well. And then we're going to do obviously our Russell oil pan to seal in the goodness, and it should be awesome. I'm really looking forward to running this thing down the quarter and having proper oil control for once. That would be great. But yeah, it's all happening. Darryl baffle plate.
What was it? Selling that?
Cool.
Done.
Let's flip it back over and call it a day. I can't pull with my hands. You're gonna have to.
Oh, yuck.
Oh no!
Look what I've gone and done.
Oh no!
Try not to touch any more grey stuff.
So we're back, and it's Monday morning, and the doctor's had a look at my hand. It's getting better, but he says I still can't work the spanners, so you'll see a lot more of Matt in front of the camera. One of the things we're going to have to do today is put in our little extended bypass. So this is made by BPP. It's available through Golby's. It's a 1.5 JZ specific part. So this goes basically there, and you need the extended pipe fit to go down into your water pump because of the taller block. So we'll do that, we'll get our engine mounts on, get our manifolds on, get this thing ready to get in the car and get boosting. Fourth time lucky.
Just a bit. It's like a USB stick. We'll go in there eventually. It's going to spin around 10 times.
All right, so this morning has been spent just trial fitting some stuff, just making sure it all works because, you know, the block is taller now and is changing things. Like this was the drain back hose for our turbo, which is too short now. So that's for the bin. We have made a new hose, so we can do that. I've also just been checking some stuff about water lines. I was gonna say we might change the water lines, but we're probably not going to because it's just too hard basket. So we'll stick with the water lines we've got. Matty's going to change over the engine mounts and stuff now. We'll get this turbo back off. We'll change the engine mounts off, put the water lines on there because that'll be easier to do without a turbo hanging off it. And yeah, basically get this thing together as quickly as possible. It's dragging on. Starting to look like an engine. Well, it's been a very productive day with me pointing at things and Matt doing them, but the 2JZ, or I should say 1.5 JZ, is together. Turbo's on, intake's on. We're pretty much ready to drop this in the car. So that will be tomorrow's job. We're gonna shuffle some cars around and drop this bad boy in the Trolvo tomorrow. This will be running by the end of the week. It's gonna be awesome. All right, see you in the morning. Right, well, it's the next day, so it is time to get this bad boy in the car.
Oh.
Newton meters.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Are we tightening to, Scotty?
83. So we're doing away with the steel pipe that runs from the back of the water pump and around the back of the block and goes to the oil cooler. We're going to do away with the oil cooler now. Go oil filter straight onto the block, and then we've got a water pipe here at the back of the head where we're going to run that straight into the water pipe on the block. Basically try and minimize the failure points. So yeah, dragged out some hose. I think this will fit. Let's check. Yep, that's going to work fine. So we'll go there and then we'll run it around to here just above the filter. So we'll just have to make a nice curve with it. Cut that about there. Cool. All right, just hold that for us for a sec. I'll mark this. Oh, so if we go
You want a haircut, Scotty?
Yeah, no.
Sun chop.
There we go. So I was just searching for some hose clamps to put in our water pipe here, and Matt brought up an interesting point about a story you saw the other day where people almost always ditch these factory clamps for a hose clamp. But apparently these are far superior to your hose clamp because they maintain pressure and tightness over a longer period than your average hose clamp will. And let's face it, most of these hose clamps are made out of just shit. Excuse my language, but you know, they strip and break and fail all the time. These things have been on the engine for over 20 years and have not failed. So why wouldn't we use them? Cool. Going down.
That's how you do this, isn't it, Scotty? You just drop an engine in.
Oh yeah, just let it go.
Well, when you're changing, like, yeah, just drop an LS in, drop a 1J in.
I'm pretty sure that's what the previous owner did because the way it was sitting in there. I think you just
I can now
dropped
vouch, I've seen some of the butchery that the last owner did in this car. I now understand Scotty's pain. It hurt my soul.
It is real.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice and slow.
Beauty. All right, let's attach a transmission.
That was fun.
A little bit forward. A little bit forward. Yeah. Cool. Let's not do that again.
Nope. No KT26s. There's DCs in this.
I know.
That has to be one of the easiest transmission installs I've ever done, I reckon. That was unreal. Look at the trans jacks.
They're awesome.
That was way easier than putting the gearbox back in my car the other day using my hands and my chest.
I remember those days. They sucked.
Sucks.
Right, so that's gone in pretty easy. We've got 2 bolts in there at the moment, just holding the engine box together. So now we'll lower the back end down, do the top bolts, and it's gone in really easy, which is a little bit scary because what's going to go wrong? I don't know. There's always something goes wrong. We're also going to replace that broken rear trans mount with a item from Tough Mounts, so that'll be pretty cool. But yeah, we should have this running tomorrow. That'll be awesome. There we go. So after our broken rear trans mount, we've decided to go with this Tough Mounts unit. That should not break. Looks awesome. So yeah, we'll get this up on the trans, and yeah, all will be good with the world. We can get this thing finally bolted in. It's the little things that'll catch out on the big jobs, and because of the taller height of this engine, it has thrown us a couple little curveballs that we didn't expect. We thought we were just going to bolt it in and away we go. But just little things like, this is the return line from the fuel rail to the regulator, and because it was an exact length, it was fine for the 1JZ, but because the 2JZ's taller, it's moved the position of the fuel rail, so therefore this is no longer long enough. So we're going to have to make a new return line, which will be easy, but just adding things to the schedule that we didn't expect. So our 2JZ, or our 1.5JZ to be more correct, is in the car pretty much ready to go. The exhaust system doesn't fit, which is a bit of a bummer because the taller block height has meant that the exhaust system's this too much short to reach the dump pipe. And yeah, that's been a common theme with this install. There's just been little things like that, like the dipstick has been, you know, too short. The just pipe work all over the car has been, you know, just too short because the extra block height. It is what it is. But it is pretty much ready to fire it. We just got to throw a battery in it, throw some water in it, and we can fire this beast up. Except I don't have a battery at the moment, so I'm going to have to go buy one. Stay tuned. A new battery. Alrighty. Here we go. Okay, the moment of truth. I have not turned the key yet, so it'll either start or it won't. I guess we will see. We've primed the fuel system. Prime the pumps again. Here she comes. All right. That's something. I need a little bit of pedal. Well, it runs, it lives. It has a massive amount of oil pressure. I am not sure why, but hopefully that's just because we put that high pressure oil pump in it from Golby's. I'll talk to Christian about that, see if that's kind of normal, but wow. She runs. I did good. It runs, which is awesome because it's always gratifying to build an engine from the ground up and have it start first time you hit the key. So pretty happy with that. Obviously the tune is out because, you know, it's half a litre larger now, and hopefully it's going to make a lot more power. We're aiming somewhere in the 500 rear wheel kilowatt mark. That would be awesome. I think it made 430 kilowatts at the wheels before with the 1JZ. So now with its 2JZ bottom end, I'm hoping that, yeah, we'll see 500 rear wheel kilowatt. That would be great. Obviously, big shout out to Matt for picking up the spanners. Yes, that was awesome. So we can get this finished off while I'm dealing with my wounded wing. But yeah, now that we've got it started, we know it starts, we're going to tip some water into it so it's got coolant. We're going to have to fix that exhaust because this thing's going to go see the dyno Monday, probably. But you're going to see that on a future episode of Carnage.